I won't spoil that actually. We'll go on to the next thing. So this is the business system. You'll notice it has some overlap, such as the money area. What a surprise! But yeah, the business system. This one's also pretty easy. In fact, it's so easy to the point where I have somewhat automated it, and I will be showing you guys that too in a bit. And yeah, so it's business. Um, yeah, I'm sorry. This one very like this side of it is boring to me, but this side of it's some really exciting stuff. And let's focus on that. All right. So this is called the engagement engine because if you you'll notice that the majority of the key performance indicators are actually in this area. And honestly, I should probably have included the revenue, which is right here. But this engine right here, this is how a game succeeds. And that is the core of the entire process. And so from there, we can take a deeper look at that. Oh yeah, I'll be posting this entire slideshow at the after the game, after the stream finishes rendering and uploads as a full video. I'll even include like little bookmarks in case you guys want specific references. But yeah, so you have R standing for reinforcing loops, and there are two. There's the one we just talked about, and then there's this other one. Let's see. For example, so with the other one, you have it goes concurrent players. Let's see. Yeah, so concurrent players, in the same way which they improve the click to play rate for new players, they get old players to come back. If someone sees your game, if someone played your game, liked it, and comes back and no one's in the game, and it's like a game which involves other people or at least is more fun with other people, then yeah, that's going to hurt your retention rate. That's why so many people who advertise just one day in a row have horrible retention rates because they like the people who play their game who might want to come back don't have any reason to. Like they realize it won't be as fun, and so they don't come back. And that has some interesting implications, which we'll get to later. But yeah, that's a very big influence, and you need to keep that heavily in mind. And from there, you have retention rates, of course, influencing your daily returning users, which then influences the average daily visits per user, as well as the daily active users more broadly, such as through discovery players. And some of you may be wondering why discovery players are linked to daily returning users, and we'll get to that. But for now, just know this is how things flow. That rhymed. And because of that, concurrent players gets boosted by all this, which then boosts daily returning users. And then on top of that, concurrent players is also boosted by purchasing users. And so you can imagine, you can fathom how all of these things together create a very elegant system for people moving through your game and making your game rise up through the games page. And all of it is solvable in one way or another. You can measure the blue stuff. You can predict the toothpaste color stuff. I need to think of a better word for that color. Is it cyan? I don't know. No, that's kind of the other blue. Anyway, daily returning users. And then, of course, you can solve literally for the yellow ones. And from there, we have the, we can take a step back and look at the financial constraints. And the financial constraints, we're not going to spend too much time on this because I don't think it's too interesting, but there is one core loop here, one balancing loop. And it's kind of why, the balancing loop is why in like Kotaku articles, the business side is always the reason things go badly. By the way, I'm not saying that like people on the business side of games are bad. I'm saying they're the ones who have to deal with the harsh realities a lot more often. And because they often have to go into the bad guy role, but also genuinely sometimes do bad things to try to alleviate it. So anyway, that's the wider industry trend. Point is, there are various inverse relationships here, which means that those are considerations. In fact, the most difficult decisions you'll have to make are when a green line and a red line start from the same point. Because you have to know that's a game of optimization. And with some calculus, you can solve this stuff, or a simulation. If you don't want to do calculus, I don't blame you. Yeah, you can solve for most of these most of the time, but still, it's a balancing act. And yeah, so you gotta figure out how much budget you spend on marketing. Like, you know how AAA games they'll have like 2/3 of the budget will go to marketing. That's where this happens because they realize that the development budget takes away from the marketing budget, and the marketing budget is what makes all of this side of it possible. It's what flows all of this in here. Which, by the way, before most games, even the big ones, if they don't advertise it, they will not hit. They will not break even. Like you don't like you don't break even on just your existing fan base alone. There are very few franchises which could even claim that. With I guess the alternative is to keep the budget ridiculously small to hit that goal. But that's another issue. So yeah, as you advertise and increase how much, basically, the more you advertise, the less profit you have, and the less profit you have, the less you can spend back on advertising. And so this kind of pushes you to a point of optimal advertising, which you can solve for. And I believe that is coming up.